Hey everybody, this is Mike, and today I'm doing a preview playthrough of an upcoming dungeon crawler called The Ghosts Betwixt. This game's designed by Dustin Freund, and it should be coming on Kickstarter later this year. I want to be sure to note that this is a preview edition, and I'm only going to be playing the first mission, which is all I was sent. So everything you see can and probably will be changed in one small way or another. Also note the first mission, which I'm going to be playing and more, is available on Tabletop Simulator, so go check out The Ghosts Betwixt over there if you're interested. For the basic story of the game, and this is the first mission in a campaign, is that there's a family of 5 that I'm going to be playing as, and one of the sons of the family has been apparently kidnapped by these this crazy family called the Bennerts that run this kind of ramshackle haunted house. So they give this nice little newspaper clipping to give the details, but I'm going to jump right in with the actual storyline. October 1993, Hole 13, Pleasant Springs Disc Golf Course. A preteen boy extends a drive too far right and watches his disc sail over a rusted metal fence, right into the adjacent farmhouse's backyard. "You don't know your own strength, Richie," reacts the other boy in a wheelchair. Richie cringes and jogs over toward the property while his brother, Maddox, follows. Richie leaps halfway up the chain-link fence and crunches down into the dead grass on the opposite side. As the young boy strides forward through the dead leaves and reaches for his purple candy plastic disc, he freezes. The opening creak and closing crash of an old screen door greets him. "You're on private property, son. Come with us," growls an approaching disheveled man in a white sweat-stained tank top. "Hey, I'm just getting my disc," Richie replies. "Oh, well then, let me show you the way. We've been expecting you," the man says before aggressively lunging for the boy. Maddox desperately watches as his brother is hurried inside the farmhouse back door. But before any words escape from his mouth, he wisely catches them, realizing he remains undetected. Maddox returns to the gravel road and makes the nearly 3-mile trip home as fast as his arms will allow. The front door bursts open. "Mom! Dad!" Maddox's father, Bill, mother, Joan, and sister, Evelyn, gather around the cluttered kitchen island as the panting boy exhaustingly explains what happened. "Wait, those weird folks with the haunted house on their land? You're sure?" his father asks in a panic. Bill sprints to the phone, briefly gets tangled in the cord, and dials the police. No answer. He calls again, and again is met with just ringing. He slams the phone back on the receiver. "Tell me this is another one of you and your brother's jokes." Maddox communicates plenty through the worry on his face. Joan scoops up the keys to the family van. "You kids stay here. We'll be right back, with Richie." "No way!" Evelyn yells. "I'm coming too." "Likewise," Maddox responds. "Absolutely not," Bill yells. "It's too dangerous." "Exactly. Too dangerous for just 2 of you. Richie is our brother. We are going," Evelyn demands. "Everyone, grab what you can find," Joan says. "Meet at the van in 2 minutes." So there's the little opening intro. Hope you didn't mind Mike's little, reader's theater there. So we're going to start by getting starting equipment, and I'll show you the characters. The way the game handles starting equipment is pretty clever. They said we have 2 minutes to get stuff together before we go in the van and try to rescue our brother. So you'll see that items are ranked by the number of seconds it takes to find them. Some are quick, some are stored away, some are in the fridge. So basically, instead of giving a cost, it's like the amount of time it takes you to outfit yourself. Now looking over at our friendly family, we've got a lot of slots for items, but clearly since we're just starting out, we don't have too many. So basically, I got a weapon for each character. I got a cribbage bat? I don't know, it's a beaten stick for Bill the dad. And each character also has a talent. So Bill's got Fatherly Protector. He can give other characters a defensive bonus. Joan the mom's got 2 items because she's kind of a little bit more balanced. She's got a water gun loaded with our favorite, sulfuric acid. And she's got a little knife. Maddox over here has a slingshot, and his special talent is that he can create fireworks. He reminds me of the kid from Silver Bullet, if anybody ever saw that movie. And he can shoot the fireworks at people. I'm sorry, I didn't say Joan's got a healing power. She can use her nursing skills to heal people. And then Evelyn's got a slingshot of her own, and she's got the Teen Rager power, which lets her do bonus damage sometimes. And let me zoom in a little closer on Evelyn as an example of other things. So you'll note that she has pebbles. These are just inexhaustible ammo for her slingshot in this case. It has a 0 combat damage bonus, so nothing too special there. She's got both her attack and defense base dice, so she rolls a light blue, which is pretty good. That's pretty accurate. And a white, which is a defense die that might cause an automatic miss. She's got agility. This is really important for her. She has 2. Pretty much all the other characters in the game have 1. That means enemies will need 2 hits to hit her instead of 1, so she's a lot more agile. She moves 6 whenever she takes a move action. And then going over here, we've got these tracks for offensive and defensive stances. Basically doing different things in the game can increase this and give you bonus dice in the indicated color. And then she's got her strength and her accuracy damage dice. She's at the lowest level for each of them. And you'll note that all these things are color-coded, kind of like Madara, if you watch that playthrough. And they kind of ascend through more and more positive colors. But she's starting out with pretty weak versions of most things. And her health, she only has 4 health before she's out of the mission. And her family points, they're called FPs, I think it stands for family points. Those are used to power her abilities. In this case, it costs 1 to use her Teen Rager power. Next, we're instructed to read the mission guide for Mission 1. And I will say a lot of the art direction in this kind of reminds me of Gravity Falls, a animated show that I really enjoy and I watch with my son, if anybody's ever heard of that. So we do have a little story section here. All right, so Mission 1 is in the Bennert's farmhouse, the first floor. The family van speeds across gravel roads towards the once beloved haunted Halloween attraction. As the vehicle approaches the monstrous farmhouse, the headlights flick off, the tires slow to a crawl, and each one of the 4 doors carefully open. Joan, Bill, Evelyn, and Maddox sneak past the garage doors, shoddily labeled Worlds of Terror, and around to the east wing of the house. Evelyn notices a small open window leading inside. They exchange nods and begin helping one another inside with one thing in mind: finding Richie. Now looking at the other side of things, we've got some core details. So we shuffle up these map tokens for individual tiles. One of the cool things you'll see in the game, and it has a lot of cool mechanics, is that missions are very varied in how they play out each time. So I've got the map tiles shuffled. I've got a ton of fate tokens that'll determine what I find in maps shuffled. Doors, monsters, treasures, ambushes, surprises, traps, whole bunch of things. I've got how to win. I've got to complete the objectives. There are 5 of them. I've got an end of round event that has a 1 in 6 chance of damaging one of my characters. FM stands for family member, by the way, so that's used on a lot of the cards. I lose if all of the family members are knocked out, so I can still win if like one person is fighting strong. We start in a bathroom. That's where we climbed in with Objective 1 active. And it does tell us to put a doorway down. And we'll see what that all looks like in just a moment. And just to kind of show you, we do have some story text that'll happen. We have what the monsters represent, what the treasures represent, surprise events we might encounter. And you won't see all these in each play of the mission. Some of them will be hidden until you play it again. So to kind of show you, we've got a wall covering one of the doorways. We only have one way out of the bathroom. We've got the door right here, and I've got my 4 family members. Now, it doesn't matter much where they are at the beginning because you can move them pretty quickly, but just note that there are some obstacles that I can't move through, so like the toilet, the cabinet, the sink, so monsters and my family members won't be able to actually move onto those spaces. My objective at first is to find the door to the basement where we think they've taken Richie. So it says, during a drawing phase, and we'll see what that means in a moment, draw the locked door token. So if I find the locked door in those fate tokens, then I've gotten the objective. Okay, and then during the spawning phase, on the map tile for which the token was drawn, add a locked door standee, complete the spawning phase or fighting phase, and when it's complete, then we see what we have to do next. So first is the exploring phase, and this one's super simple because there's no turns, there's no action points. In fact, I can't even use special abilities and action points. And basically, I can just move my family members freely and get them ready to open the door and see what's on the other side. So in this case, I'm going to put my 2 ranged guys in the back and my 2 slightly stronger, slightly more healthy parents in the front. Dad with his protection right there. And once we're ready and we're next to the door, then we proceed into the drawing phase, which is going to set up the next room. So in the drawing phase, when we get to a new doorway, we first reveal the top map token to see what room tile we discover. In this case, 3A. And that's going to be this fairly horrifying kitchen with a doorway to the north and the south. And then we additionally draw 3 fate tokens for the room that we've discovered. In this case, we're getting a monster tile number 4, a door, and a second door. We connect the map tile however we want in any orientation. We fill in the doors we found. And if we had too few doors or too many, different things would happen. But here we had the exact number of doors we needed to kind of cover all the entrances on this map. Now, something special has happened right off the bat. We split, and we now have 2 different ways to go. It's called a fork in the road. So what you do in this case is you split the map tokens as evenly as you can, 1 for each of the doorways. And then you similarly split the fate tokens, making sure you have exactly 3 for each of the map tokens in your different piles. So in this way, the thing you're looking for, in this case the locked door for the first objective, might be in either direction. You might have to go back and search the other way. And finally, we have to spawn the monsters we drew. If we check in the mission guide, we'll see for number 4, we're getting 2 Rabid Ferrets, which are pretty weak monsters, so a lucky draw there. We get their monster card, and just to briefly show you, they've got a tan defense die, so pretty weak, a dark blue and a turquoise attack die. And these guys are special. They don't have a damage die like everybody else. Instead, for every hit they roll, they do a damage unless it's canceled by a dodge. So they don't even really care about your agility or any defense you roll. They just kind of bite you a bunch. They have 5 speed. And we're not going to worry about the money and the experience because we're not doing the campaign, but they have 2 hit points each. And what you do is for each of the ferrets, so here we've got like a number 1 and a number 2, you just kind of put them in their own little spot around the card. Kind of similar to how Gloomhaven and other games kind of divide up the different enemies within like one group. So here I'm going to go ahead and put 2 health in kind of the 1 and 2 area for these ferrets. And additionally, a really cool thing I like in the game, I'm going to draw a targeting token. So 1 ferret is going to go after Maddox. Number 2 ferret is going to go after Joan. And these targets can even change during the battle, but they're going to only attack these people, and I got to try to kind of defend them if I can. So going to the board, I spawn the guys, and spawning is super easy. All the tiles are either in lengths and widths of 4, 6, or 8. So I'm going to roll for our number 1 ferret. I got a 5 and a 6. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's a table. That's an obstacle. So this ferret's going to be right there. And he does get turned to face because enemies have facing. We don't. He gets turned to face as much as possible toward Maddox, his target, which is about that way. And our second ferret is going to be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So right by the door. And he wants to go after Joan, so he's going to be facing that way. So that takes care of the spawning phase. And now we get into the meat of the game, which is the fighting phase.